The last 200 years have seen incredible advances in science and technology. Can we sustain this pace of innovation? An optimist might argue, sure, because innovation is a self-propelling force. Every problem we solve gives new insights that make similar problems easier to solve. I call this the learning effect. A pessimist might argue that innovation can slow if we run out of good ideas. I call this the fishing out effect. This paper attempts to assess which effect is more important. To begin, think of technologies as collections that are more than the sum of their parts. For example, the internal combustion engine combines pistons, crankshafts, flywheels, and other components. The important insight was not inventing these components, but finding the right arrangement of them so that they interact to do something useful. This paper uses U.S. patent applications as proxies for inventions, and technology classifications as proxies for components. Patent examiners typically assign several technology classifications to patents. The pictured patent has 3, and this paper assumes it combines these 3 kinds of technology. There are 13,517 classifications that fit my criteria. This paper focuses on 10,000 randomly selected sets of 3 classifications. The set of 3 used in the pictured patent is one such example. Now we turn to learning and fishing out. When inventors discover a useful interaction between components, that knowledge is broadly applicable. For example, inventors of the internal combustion engine did not rediscover the useful coupling of a crankshaft and piston. Water wheels and windmills also used these components and had long ago discovered this interaction. This is the learning effect. Meanwhile, there are only so many meaningfully different ways to arrange a set of components. Once the internal combustion engine had been invented, one less useful arrangement of those parts was left to discover. This is the fishing out effect. Here we have the same patent as in the slide before last, but with its technology classifications emphasized. This paper measures how much researchers have learned about combining components by counting how often technology classifications are used together. In this example, technologies 123/319 and 477/34 were combined in 178 patents before this application was filed. The other components were combined even more. I measure how much a combination has been fished out by counting how many patents with that full combination have been granted. In this example, there were 5 patents already granted with this precise set of 3 classifications before the application was filed. I use a nonlinear regression model with fixed effects to measure the strength of learning and fishing out. For every randomly selected set of 3 technologies, the dependent variable is the number of patent applications using those technologies in each year of my sample. I find the number of applications rises when researchers have more examples of pairwise combinations of underlying technologies. Applications fall with the number of patents using the complete set of underlying technologies. However, alternative explanations are also possible. Demand for technologies A and B would induce more patent applications with the complete set A, B, and C, for example, as well as more patents that just combine A and B. The rise in patent applications for A, B, and C in this case could be due to learning about how to combine A and B, or could simply be due to demand for A and B, or some combination of the two. If possible, we would like to rule out demand as an explanation for the results. To do this, I use patent renewal data. Patent holders have to pay fees to keep their patents active. I assume they only do this if an active patent is worth more than the fee. If changing demand for technologies drives my results, then we would expect the probability of renewing a patent to be correlated with the number of similar patents granted after an application is filed. I use a logit regression to show it's not. So, is learning stronger than fishing out? In this slide, patents are listed in the middle of the 3 technology classifications assigned to them. When I restrict attention to a single set, such as the circled one, I find the fishing out effect is stronger than learning. Each time one of these sets is patented, there will be fewer in the future. However, when I consider the impact on all sets of technologies, the learning effect is dominant. This is because many different sets of technology can learn from the discovery of an interaction. When the circled set is patented, the neighboring sets pictured all gain another example of how to usefully combine some of their underlying technologies. Thanks for listening. Please check out the paper for more details.